So I've got this idea here. Obviously, one piston is completely bad, but they're the same thing. They're the same piston. I could maybe bend that camshaft back straight again. And obviously, I could just loosely file down the crankshaft. And as for everything else, I mean, aside from the hole in the bottom of the cylinder and the bad right there for the cam, non-zero chance I could throw this thing back together and blow it up a second time with the piston that's still in usable shape. Well, not really great, but I don't know. So the camshaft isn't exactly what I would call straight. It's also kind of stuck in here now, but it is straighter. Also damaged to that right there. These two lobes are the ones that are going to be actually trying to run the engine. So I think there's actually a non-zero chance this crap might flip and work. Holy crap. I'm going to genuinely try and throw this engine back together. Got the crank cleaned back up to Walmart engine specs, I think. There's metal down in the oil passages, but also there's not going to be another piston on that side, so it won't really build any oil pressure anyway. So yeah, this thing's not getting any engine assembly lube, that's for sure. So it's basically going to be starting dry. So that, yeah, it's bad. And yeah, I had to kind of use the rod to help force some of that crap off, but anyway, it spins with the rod bolted on. I put the head back on, and it seems to move the valves, the cam. It might actually flip and work. I even put the governor back on. This may end up being too good. This is getting interesting. I've made some serious progress. I've got, I think, everything back together we need to try and start it. And I've got it filled with oil right now, the oil pump reinstalled, and an oil filter on it. The oil filter that came off it and the oil that came out of it. I just want to see if it'll fire off of some brake clean first, and if it will, then I'll drain the oil back out and yeah, take the oil filter off, and then we'll blow it up. I just want to see. It needs every fighting chance it can in order to get started. Once it starts, I think it'll continue running. But anyway, let me just button up a few more loose ends here, and then I'll put some brake clean in here and see if it'll fire off the one cylinder that has a piston. I've got, this time, some rags shoved in the intake in here, so that might make a difference and maybe help it run better. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, the amount of play on the cam in there is crazy. You hear these terrible sounds spinning it over. The governor may actually work. I'm confident it will, as long as the camshaft doesn't fail before blowing up. Of course, the governor should continue working. So yeah, take it outside and see if it'll work right now, I guess. I haven't touched the valves either, so those are just whatever they are. This is terrifying on every level. But it did it. It doesn't sound bad cranking over though. Holy crap. I cannot believe that. Carb is leaking gas, so I gotta turn the fuel on right before I go, or before it goes. Yeah, here we go. That lasted a lot longer than I could have ever imagined it would. Oh man. I'm gonna throw a bucket of water on it. After all. Isn't that such a good sound? Obviously it still spins, but I'm pretty sure a rod blew up in there. Pretty sure. Let me see if I can pop that cylinder head off quick because it's only held on by 2 bolts and then 1 carb bolt. Pop that cylinder head off. It's interesting and looking in there, that's for sure. And yeah, clearly rod done go away. Just remove all of that as one assembly. Best way to do it. I wonder how that guy ended up in there. Figured I'd just show what it looks like when a crankshaft is spinning an engine without any pistons attached. Or speed. Alright, I got all the bolts out and I got the gloopy glop drained out of it. There was actually a lot more oil left in it than I thought. There's no shortage of chunks out in the bottom of the block. This rod may have blown up worse than the last. Alright, let me take him out. I've already soiled rag here. Yeah, it bent it again. Not much, not as bad as the first time, but it is bent again. It's fun. It's really fun. Now, I need to try not make a huge mess. Get the rest of this crap out. I don't know. Go ahead, because obviously it's bolted in nothing. Easiest crank removal ever. There we go. Now I can get everything out. Alright, here it is. First time it blew up, second time it blew up. It bent the cam again. It didn't really make that hole right there in the bottom of the cylinder any bigger. It did, I think, cause more damage to that mount for the cam right there. The crank isn't any worse than it was before. Yeah, it's obliterated this stuff pretty good. That goes back together there with, and there's all those chunks missing. So, yeah. I don't think there's anything else to show. It did shear the flywheel key again. You can see the 2 pieces of it right there. Too lazy to get up and get closer to it. I'm kind of amazed that starter was able to crank this thing over with the teeth missing out of the flywheel. There's like 2 or 3 teeth missing out of it, but it was right after compression stroke, so I guess it makes sense that it was able to. Right after the magnet, anyway. Yeah, I've got a heck of a mess to clean up now. And the engine that blew up twice. Anyway. I don't know why you watch this, but make sure to dislike, unsubscribe, and report for human endangerment or whatever that thing is. I don't know. Make sure my account gets banned from YouTube and other garbage. And I probably will not see you in the next one. I don't know. We'll see. It just depends. Depends on that guy and probably a lot of other things.